Hello, I'm Colonel Janine Main and I'm the Territorial Secretary for Leader Development and I work at Territorial Headquarters. Sunday the 14th of February is Racial Justice Sunday in the churches in Britain and Ireland. Last year, following the murder of George Floyd and the resurgence of Black Lives Matter, our Territorial Commander, Commissioner Anthony Cotterill, issued a statement that included the words that you can read on your screen.
Our hearts are heavy and hurting because racism infects the church, and we acknowledge and confess that this is true even in parts of Salvation Army life.
Which led him to ask the Territorial Advisory Council to undertake some research into racial justice in the Salvation Army. Following that detailed research, a race inclusion working group has been created, which I am co-chairing with Captain Althea Borden, who is the Corps Officer at Doncaster. The Race Inclusion Working Group is tasked with finding a way to implement the recommendations that the Territorial Advisory Council have presented. They want us to look at things like what we can do towards restoration and reconciliation and reparation, what we can do with regards to educating our people and increasing their understanding of racial justice, or ways our organisation will have to change to be more inclusive, or what practical things we will have to do to make these changes. And then there's the impact of racial inclusion on the leadership of the Salvation Army and how to hold it accountable. And we need to create a space for continued conversation. Now, the Race Inclusion Working Group has only met twice. And with me, I have two members of the group. I have Tony Daniels and Taffy Bazuri. Tony is the Director of Community Services and works at Territorial Headquarters. And he's a member of the Christchurch Evangelical Anglican Church in Bedford. So Tony, thanks for being with us. It would be great if you could just tell us what you bring to this group and what your hopes are for us as we work together.
Janine, thank you for that. I believe that I bring a passion and commitment and a self-determination to support and champion the change process within the Salvation Army that's currently seeking to tackle and address the historic and present-day racism that besets not just the Army, but the wider church and society as a whole. And I think my deepest hope is that the Racial Inclusion Working Group will be that long-awaited catalyst, if you will, for both change and reconciliation and redressing the balance within the Salvation Army's culture and DNA, which is for the betterment and advancement of the whole inclusion and diversity agenda.
Thanks, Tony. That's great. Thank you for contributing, for being part of this little video today, and I'm really grateful that you're part of this group. We're also pleased to have a younger voice from Taffy. And so Taffy, what are your hopes for this group?
Hi Janine. My name is Taffy Bizuri and I soldier at Old Bicor. I hope to bring new and creative ways to embrace and include different nationalities within the Salvation Army. And having been raised in the Salvation Army as part of a minority, I hope to shed some light on how inclusive it has been for some of the soldiers I engage with. I also hope that this group will enable people to start the dialogue regarding these topics and make Salvation Army a more inclusive and diverse place to worship and work in.
Thank you, Taffy. Thanks for your contribution. It's great to have you with us. Great for a younger voice to be on our group. There are about 13 members of this group, and we just hope that we're going to be able to work towards confronting and fighting racism wherever it's found.